Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me. I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take their business to the next level.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
The dangers of secondhand smoke are well known. But what about secondhand aerosol, which is created when using e-cigarettes? Science already shows a secondhand aerosol can contain nicotine, heavy metals, and cancer-causing agents. Eliminating exposure to secondhand aerosol is an important step to keeping everyone safe. Breathe easier knowing the facts.
For help quitting, call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
We'll see a few flurries possible tonight. Very cold again with the low dropping down to around 3. But with sunshine, we try to improve here Wednesday. We'll reach up to a high of around 25. And as we head into our Wednesday nights, we'll see an increase in cloud cover with a low down to 14. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This just in, hot off the bench press. Planet Fitness has added new strength equipment. Save $28 or more when you join today, and you can be one of the first to try it out. We're raising the bar with new benches, and our new hack squat will have you actually looking forward to leg day. Plus, we're still repping all of the best-in-class equipment we've always had, with most clubs open 24 hours, so you can work out your way on your time. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends January 10th. See Home Club for details.
Hey, Reese, you hungry? You know I am, Mama. Let me introduce y'all to my canes. We got chicken fingers. They hit the spot, baby. Fries are golden crispy, Texas toast crunchy, and they cane sauce right. We got a coleslaw right here. Ooh, Lord help me. This sweet tea makes me sweet. That's what my mama said. So what are you doing right now? Get your mom to take you to Raising Cane's chicken fingers. Hello.
This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown. 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker in one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, welcome into the Don't Punt Hour. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. As always, we got Good Morning Pierson-El streaming in. You guys can join in 402-464-5685. That is the Starter Heyman text line. Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo, Channel 961. You can put a face to the voice as well. And like I said, we got Good Morning Pierson-El. The host is always joining in. Good morning. How's it going on freezing Tuesday night?
It's a miserable day, and don't you start. Don't you dare start. I don't want to hear it.
It's all right. We'll start with Husker Hoops because they're tipping off like right now. So we'll leave your Raiders alone in the meantime. We will get to some NFL, but I do want to stay locked in on the Huskers. We didn't even talk about Ed Foley yet yesterday, but obviously special teams coordinator. If you've been living under a rock in terms of the Husker sports media, Ed Foley no longer the special teams coordinator.
See ya.
Yeah, you're hearing some names floated out there already. Even one of our guys, Bill Bush, 93.7 The Ticket. Couldn't tell you anything on that. Honestly, I saw it this morning. I haven't talked to anybody. I don't know if that's people just spitballing ideas or if that's a real thing, but nonetheless, we're going to start with Husker Hoops. They got the Hawkeyes. It's on the road. Big Ten games on the road always suck if you're the team traveling. And the thing with Iowa, they've just shot the ball so well against Nebraska every year, and they give up a ton of points. They don't play a lick of defense. Their philosophy is, we want to shoot a bunch of threes. Nebraska's defense is, we're going to take away the paint and let you shoot threes. Unfortunately, that kind of style has been killing Nebraska because Iowa's been shooting lights out. By fortune or just pure luck, I'm not sure. What do you feel like going into this game for the Huskers?
I mean, optimistic. They're definitely more a defensive team. It's not something that they, is their MO, but I mean, future to come, you'll need to learn how to handle it. I think they have athletes that can, get the job done. So it doesn't really scare me. You just got to be a dominant defensive early on and, establish that that's not going to be easy all night.
Yeah. And that's really the thing with like, they're just going to keep coming at you offensively. You got to really do your best to not catch up to what Iowa wants to play, their tempo. If you're Nebraska, I'm not even sure if you want to tweak your philosophy a little bit on how you play defense, just because it hasn't proven well for Nebraska in this series. If you remember last year, I think Iowa shot the ball incredibly well. I want to say shot the ball in about 70% field goal percentage, which is just unreal. So again, when it comes to Iowa, it's a weird one. Not only when you're on the road, it is one of the few teams in the Big Ten where that Fred Hoiberg defensive system where you're just trapping everything inside can burn you. But if it ends anything like Creighton, where Creighton's kind of similar in their offensive philosophy, like they'll take the threes if that's what
if you let them.
Yeah, but Creighton shot horribly when we played them.
The thing about Iowa, you just can't necessarily allow them to have the open 3-1. Now you just got to get them out their rhythm. I think you get them out their rhythm, move them off, their block and everything like that. Even if it's, a couple of dribbles and, a bad contested shot, I'm fine with that. But just don't, ball movement, back screens and all of that. And, somebody's cutting and you got a wide open three in the corner to get them high. You have to make Iowa dribble and be a little bit uncomfortable to get them off of, their rhythm. And I think that'll be the key to victory tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And, as we're talking about it right now, the score, the game just started. It's 5-8. Iowa's leading it. And what do you know? Dix 1 for 1 from the 3-point line for Iowa. Harding 1 for 1 from the 3-point line for Iowa. And then you got Freeman. He puts in 1 for 2. But on the good side of things, you do have Bryce Williams for Nebraska starting off hot. He's got all 5 of Nebraska's points. You might need a good Bryce Williams game if you're going to pull this one through. The bright side, though, if you just go through Iowa's last 5 games, like this is an idea of how many points this team is just continuing to give up. Last 5 games, if I can pull it up here for the Hawkeyes, apologies. They just gave up 113 to Wisconsin. I wanted to get the nice list. Oh, here we go. Excuse me. They gave up 116. So they gave up 116. Let's see. New Hampshire, they won that one, giving up 70. Utah, they gave up 88. New Orleans, that one they gave 57. The point is, they're going to score about 80 to 90 points a game, but they're going to give about 80 to 90 points a game as well. I said they lost. They beat Wisconsin, or excuse me, they did lose to Wisconsin 116 to 85. 116 points to give up in college basketball is an unreal number.
Like how does that? Were they missing shots, turnovers? Were they? That's a bit eye opening.
Well, it's just you can look at the numbers and it's just Iowa doesn't play a whole lot of defense. So Wisconsin, they did have a good shooting day. Obviously, you don't get to that. So they shot 67% from 3. Wisconsin did, so it's going to help you. 65% overall. Turnovers, though, Iowa did only cough it up 9 times. It's not even like they're turning the ball over a lot. They just don't contest you very much. They don't like to chase you around, especially if you're off ball. They're going to fall asleep on screens. They just want to play offense. And that's just kind of what Iowa's been with their head coach ever since he got there. Is they're not going to play a whole lot of defense. They're going to try to shoot the ball a lot. Hopefully it's a good day for them. I don't know. Who do you got? And we'll give you updates. But if you have to call it right now, the favor is in Iowa. Big part because they're playing at home.
I must say that's just the home factor. I mean, I still think us. Coming off a win and being able to do things to a top 15 team in the nation and whatnot. I'm confident the coaching staff will be able to put a plan together to slow a conference opponent down.
Yeah, and how important is this game for Nebraska?
You're
coming off a hot run right now.
I think it is very important. Very important. If you win it, that even pushes you further for why is this team not talked about a little bit more? If you lose it, it's like you're one of those teams that's again like you were last year, just kind of hot at home. So winning this type of game, kind of stops the record and kind of sets the record straight for what you should be looked at versus maybe we don't know just yet. You need these type of wins in the Big Ten, dominant performances against teams that you should beat or should upset and everything like that to continue to push the motive and to gain momentum behind their team.
Yeah, to me, this is it's just a good opportunity. You're playing good basketball right now. You're playing an Iowa team who, again, 9-13 right now. Iowa's doing what you expect Iowa to do. They're gonna looks like keep trying to chuck as many threes as possible before the clock hits 0. But you got to win some of these Big Ten road games if you want to get into that March Madness and you want to get there with the somewhat of a comfortable seed. Especially, we talked a little bit about it yesterday, how we're seeing the AP top 25 really kind of place the Big Ten. Clearly, they're not looking at the Big Ten as a strong conference this year. So you're going to have to win some of these on the road. You can't just completely live by winning games at the vault. And you'd much rather win one against Iowa on the road than having to go play Michigan State on the road, than having to go play, a really good UCLA team. I'd have to look at the good teams on the road. They're all tough, but some are not as hard as others. And Iowa, yes, they're a good team. There's a good chance they are able to pull off the win today. But it's a very manageable game. And I think Nebraska does have better talent. They just can't, fall into bad luck and Iowa shoots the lights out of the gym. It's just kind of been that way in this entire series. I remember it was like one of the very first Nebraska basketball games I went to. Nebraska pulled off the upset because they just got hot from 3. They're down by like 15 points. I can't remember what year it was. And it's been like that just about every other year with this series. So hopefully this time it's Nebraska's turn to have a good night, because if you remember last year was not a great performance from the Huskers. All right, with that being said, unless you got anything else to add on Husker Hoops.
That's it.
All right, Ed Foley, let's talk about it. He's out of here. What is the special teams got to look for in a coach?
I think not only just a teacher, but a guy who's a motivator that can get through the kids. You don't need, you need a glue guy that's going to mesh well with everybody, that pulls offense, defense, both sides of the ball together, on a combined front to go out there as a unit.
And then, what was the I'm trying to think of like a good example. Like, is there any coaches out there that you really like right now? Like, obviously, somewhat sarcastically, because I don't know the full story about any of it, like Bill Bush, but like, is there actual names out there that you think of, or is this a position where doesn't necessarily need to have the experience, you just need the right personality?
I think a little bit of both. There's not a name that jumps out. I mean, of course, Bill, that would be, lovely. We'll see how, true that is or whatnot.
Pelini, he started out as special teams. That'd be fantastic.
Bo Pelini said he's not ever coming back to Nebraska. So
I can't blame him. All right.
So no. There's not necessarily a name that really jumps out, but I think it needs to be, experienced, but also bringing some other stuff to the table. I'm not saying a high intensity guy, but like I said, a person that can get the best out of the kids. Hopefully, Brett can still stay on, because I thought he was excellent with what he did for the kickers and them bouncing back.
Yeah.
I understand we had a few missing, woes late in the season, but that wasn't really on the kicker. That was more so snapper holder. So we'll see, but I think they definitely need to bring a right person, and it could be Brett could be the person. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean it could be. For me, I don't know like how much Brett. I think Brett was purely just getting the kickers locked in mentally.
Probably.
So like I don't. He might be the right hire because he probably wasn't really having anything to do with any of the other components of special teams, and the kicking game did get better. There was some more snafus down there late, but it was like every single time I want to say it was the hold. I'm really trying to think
every
of like
time
missed field goals. Like it was always
the hold. That's all it was.
Which is really bummer because after that Ohio State game, all of a sudden, Hole found his confidence. He hit, it was a 54-yard bomb. And ever since that, it was like, okay, he's got it. We're good. And then we can't get the damn hold down. I've used this analogy before, but it's just like you fix one thing, another thing breaks. That was the special teams all year. Couldn't explain it. Ed Foley, I'm not even going to say like, oh, he's terrible. Good riddance. Sometimes you just need a new voice. And maybe that was the case with the special teams unit because it's just been that bad. And it's hard to have confidence in a leader who is, led you to fall on your face so many times, whether it's the leader's fault or the player's fault. Nobody really knows at the end of the day. So a new voice might be what you need. How do you get a actual good special teams culture? Like a team that actually genuinely gives a damn about their special teams. Like you see it all the time. Unfortunately for Nebraska, like there's programs out there that truly is a afterthought.
It has to be a coach that commands and demands respect. And I'm not saying that, we didn't, or the athletes in there didn't respect the dude, but, you need somebody that, I don't want to say a father figure because that's like too cliche, but, a person that, you can go have a conversation with him about any and everything. Doors always open, but yet he strikes the fear of God in you type situation. That's what, is needed in that position. But, and then again, a glue guy, like I said, he pulls from all over. And you got to be able to evaluate, the athletes to put them in the best position to win. And the kids have to take, the corrections, adjustments, make them and, make something happen.
Is there, like I can tell you, like high school football experience, there's not like ego to cut through, but, guys typically aren't like super pumped. Like, everyone, I made it. I'm the wedge blocker on kick return. But is there like an ego at the college football level where you almost got to like really get on guys to play that position and really try at it?
To a certain extent, I think the good teams, the players accept their role and they see it as a challenge and they don't mind. And then the teams that are not, of course, you're going to have your people, that don't want to do it or is pissed off about it and whatnot. I just remember, especially when Bo was there, we had starters, out there. We had, second string guys out there. You had walk-ons out there and whatnot. It didn't matter. You had a bunch of people that wanted to do the job regardless of what it was, whether they were going after to get blocks, whether they were holding up to return, whether they were holding up blocks for kick return. And then, we had Drew Brown, which I think he still might, hold the records for most points in Nebraska history for kickers and whatnot. He's up there with some of the top kickers for the for school records or whatnot. So you have to identify people, and people have to put their ego aside to get it done. And that's where the right coach comes in there and checks it.
Yeah, and I think you're right. And that I heard Eric Strickland actually talking about this today too, and I agree with him. Like that coach, they gotta be a hell of a salesman. Like you got to go in there and sell that position on special teams. Like this is a real road for you. Like I know you think it's just special teams and all this. Like this is an opportunity to get on the field and to do some dirty work. And just it's a real chance for you to make a name for yourself. Like everyone wants to think about the offensive, defensive side of the ball, but if you can actually convince guys to really sell out on special teams, and not just a few guys, but like get all 11 of them. That's where you get the DeMornay Pierson-El punt return years. I say this all the time. It wasn't just you.
No, it wasn't. It was the unit. My job was just easy, but I wasn't, anything without them.
Yeah, I mean, you had some great blocks.
whether they were holding up to block, whether they were, going after kicks, or whether the starting defense, even the starting defense was out there, were still trying to get me to return, stuff in punt safe type situations. So it brings camaraderie among the team if you have the right person in there pulling the right strings to get the people to come together. And that's why it needs to be a glue guy, but somebody, that like I said, strikes a bit fear into the people who's like, oh, okay, I see you, I got you. I'm not going to question certain things. You need this. Okay, I got it. At the next level, that's what it is.
How did your special teams coach? How was he able to do that?
In the NFL or in college?
At Nebraska, because Nebraska's special teams were solid during your time.
I mean, my freshman year was Bo. Bo was leading the stuff. You had him and Coach Ellis and Jamrock, doing stuff and everything like that. So they had their own different breaks or whatnot. So when you got the head man, coming in there explaining stuff, you sit up in your chair a little bit. Your ears, you're more attentive.
I didn't forget about that first year. He was.
Yeah. So, but between him and there was more defensive coaches that led it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But again, it was guys that the team respected. Coach Ellis, nobody said anything to him. He was a person. You got Coach JP. Nobody really said anything to him, and then you had Bo. Nobody would, bat an eye. Whatever they said, okay, yes, coach, run through a wall, and we either blocking the punt or we returning we getting the ball at least in our own territory. I mean, that was your options, or 6, whichever one you wanted.
Hey, honestly, if you're Matt Rule too, you got an opportunity to pull the Bo Pelini too. You can go you got Phil Snow, associate head coach. If you want to take a seat and really lock in on special teams. Because I think you're all right. Like, it seems like, how much time did you put on special teams? Like, flash forward, okay, it's game week now. We got to execute special teams.
You put enough. I mean, you have, I would say, special teams meetings probably. If you meet, 5 times before Saturday, you got special teams meeting at least 4.
Okay. So, I mean, like Matt Rule, it's like a head coach could definitely do, especially if you got the associate head coach.
Yeah.
You could definitely find enough time to do that.
Most definitely.
Because I do wonder, if that's not even a bad route to go sometimes, because it is a great way to kind of fix that culture right away, because you're just not going to have people slacking off nearly to the extent if the head coach is the guy.
You sitting in your chair, okay, because
you want to go make a play so you can get more reps on offense. Like, I just think even if, you inspire guys to make plays on special teams so they can play more on defense or offense, the head coach is watching because he's in charge of it.
At all times.
I think I kind of like that idea now. I mean, is that realistic, Bill, in today's era of college football, especially now with the pretty much unlimited amount of coaches you can have? Where do you make sense?
You would think so, but then again, the stuff with NIL and everything else that might have your attention a little bit more, is that something Matt Rule is willing to put on his plate? I'm not willing to gamble. With that, there are a lot of other things that he might, deem, satisfying. But I mean, you brought Dana in there, who's another head coach, to get the offense right. So the offense is going to be, it is what it is. You have an NFL guy on the defensive side. How that's going to get ran and everything like that. So I mean, it's very interesting, but I'm not sure if he wants to put more attention himself into that type of role.
Yeah, that's a good call too. Like the role of the college football head coach is just continually expanding, especially today, because we're still in that gray area of like, is it amateur or is it a subversion of the pro? Right now, it's neither. It's kind of a mix of both because they're
it's no man's land. Like there's no consistent. There's no balance of certain things or whatnot. They're just anybody coming up with an idea. There's no checks and balances at all.
No, and then the idea of like putting an overseer on it, where you got to run through this person to go through all your deals now, and like it's more lawsuits. It's more like you don't want to keep. It's kind of like the government, right? Like you want an overseer, but you don't want to have to run everything through it because then it gets a little bit too controlling, a little bit too slow, bogged down. Like you don't want to completely have this thing have to funnel through the NCAA or through like a single entity. when in terms of like putting together caps on how much these universities can be given to players. Like you almost have to go with the lean into the pro style where you're kind of just letting the guys do it themselves. Like you're not seeing LeBron have to go through the NBA if he wants to sign a new endorsement deal because he's a pro and it's his money. That's kind of where we're at with college football.
I don't think you can limit or should be able another people or another entities should be able to say, oh, well, you can't make that much because of whatever. If somebody deems something important and whatnot, that should be fly. Now, you might have to go through the proper channels through the university to make sure that it's all situated and everything like that. And the university submits it to the NCAA. I mean, that could be a checks and balance.
Well, the NBA has affiliates too, right? Like when people are sponsored through the NBA's got affiliates for all sorts of deals and endorsements. So there is some versions of that. I think that's the way you go, though. You trust the universities and the players, although it's not perfect. I used to think like a cap might be the way to do it, but now it's like you don't go down that road.
I don't think it's necessarily a cap. I think all universities and everything like should have the freedom what it is. Now the university should have to check and make sure they go through certain protocols of stuff to make sure things are turned in, proper stuff is filed and whatnot. Then that gets returned, then that gets, to the NCAA or whatever. It should be fine regardless of it, because if it wasn't, the school would have made it right. So that takes the power away from everybody, from somebody saying, no, you can't do this, no, you can't make that. And the kids are still able to go out and explore and do what name, image, and likeness is meant to do, instead of them trying to bring or have shades of the old college football of them trying to control stuff. Like you're not putting money in my pocket. It's not necessarily deemed for you. So you shouldn't have to, you shouldn't have a say in what I can and can't necessarily do to a certain, extent of things.
Yeah. I guess to wrap up this first segment here. I mean, what does the finish line look like? Like, I feel like everyone spends so much time talking. I won't make that crossover. But like, what is the finish line? There's got to be an end goal, because otherwise, what are we doing?
I think the finish line should be a combination of educational goals as well, educational purposes of certain things, financial stability, with kids, not just putting them, giving them, all this type of stuff and letting them figure it out on its own and whatnot. There has to be a understanding, even if at a certain age, even if you get it to, if you stay at, 2 years of checks and bonuses of something, but to entice kids to just stay where they're at and not give them so much freedom, because I don't think that's fair to universities at all. I definitely do think they need to put in place to where you can transfer once on your first go around. You could transfer once. Anything after that, you should be at a place for 2 years.
I think you lose a year too if you transfer,
no.
Unless there is egregious circumstances.
No.
I don't.
I think everybody gets one free transfer. I don't like it here. They're not doing this and this and everything. Fine and dandy, leave. You can go wherever you want to go. After that, wherever you go, you have to stay there for 2 years.
I can compromise on that. Either way, that's a lot better than what it is now.
Your whole life can change in 2 years. You could grow. You can grow up mentally. You can understand things. You can take things more serious, and actually put in effort. And your situation might not be necessarily what it is, but I feel like the universities would have to guarantee the kids, okay, it's not just a year to year. I guarantee you that we will give you 2 1-year, contracts. Period. That takes, the 1 year's out. And if you compromise that or whatever money was promised, they get.
Well, then there's some formality to it as well, right? And then there's no cap, but at least there's fine paperwork that there's a finite amount. There's no more guessing. It's like, we have it in the books for 2 years. We're good. Just make it simple, because right now, man, I can't believe there's anybody out there who even wants to be a head coach anymore. Like, that's just me being honest. It seems like a nightmare. Everything you would love about coaching NIL kind of conflicts it.
Or, not to cut you off, the other thing
good.
is if a team tries to bait you or pulls you out for money or whatever, you can go. You got to sit out the year and you can't get paid. That'll stop a lot of kids. That'll stop a lot of kids from leaving. I don't, no, I'm good. I'll stay right here. You can get the money, you just won't get it that year.
Good morning, Pierson-El. I think you might have just described the finish line. That might be it. Like, I'm not even. You do that. You put that element to the NIL.
I think that makes everything a lot fair.
Yeah. Now the most nefarious reason a player might be transferring is because upset
of money.
About
you're taking that off the table. It's like okay, neutralize it. You want to transfer, you can. You sign, at this place for however long or whatever. If someone recruits you after you don't have a family issue that has to be proven, and that has to be a strict criteria. It can't just be, I'm homesick or anything like that. A family member pretty much, is about to go to, the land before or the land after type situations. Mm-hmm. Your coaches get fired, you can be free to go wherever you want to. So and if a coach, hey, we'll pay you this type of money or whatever to come here, you can go, but you won't be able to get paid for that year.
I like that. That might actually be one of the best solutions on the spot yet. It would be, I tell you what, you'd get a much more honest look about how many players are actually transferring.
Yeah.
How many players are just going to get more money. And I'm not even shaming the players who want to go get more money because everybody does. That's a very natural thing to do, but it definitely shaved down the numbers, or at least you'd hope. All right, we'll go to break here. A little long in the first one. The Cornhuskers are down, but not by much, though. 20-26, still 7 minutes left in the first half. We'll throw it to break. Don't go anywhere. Dump Punt Hour. We got the host of Morning, Pierson-El. Harrison Arns back in the studio. Talk to you on the other side.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me. I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take their business to the next level.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at WindowWorldLincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
finally a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds. On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes, feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. The freedom of gliding with ease and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, it's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, realignment, or even new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at doorsplusllc.com or give them a call at 402-590-5800. Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solution offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
The Adam Carricker Show.
That is what the 12-team playoff does. It makes the end of the regular season more exciting until we realize, hey, the teams that are 10 through 12 are just going to get killed. So getting in doesn't really matter. All that doesn't matter is Oregon, Ohio State regular season. Matchup doesn't matter. Ohio State, Michigan. That rivalry's now been devalued. And to me, that's what I see.
Live every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 12 to 1 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Don't Punt Hour, second segment. I'll be really short here on this one, as we do got some college hoops coming your way on the brick and mortar. We got the Auburn Tigers versus the Texas Longhorns. Excuse me, not Texans. You got that game coming on tonight. Some college basketball for you on the brick and mortar, but you guys can continue to watch on the streams, especially for the postgame show. Because me and I believe Austin Orman, maybe we'll get Jake Bachman as well. Huskers, we will talk about their game versus Iowa. Currently, blink of an eye, I was going to tell you they were up by 1, and that was about 30 seconds ago. I must just have a delay on my browser. They're up 34-26 now with 3 minutes to go in the first, so things are looking great for the Huskers just by looking at the box score, not necessarily having eyes to the TV itself. Optimistic start, though. Since we only got a little bit more time here left, though, good morning. I'll just ask you this. Give me the biggest issue the Huskers need to address before they get to the first game of next season. All right, man. Recruiting, scheme, whatever you want.
I think the biggest issue is just honestly growing together. Like Dana came in here at some point in time from the offensive side. He brought in a new coach. You got a new defensive coordinator. I understand he was there, but different roles, different coaches are going to be coming in on the defensive side. So I think holistically of understanding, who you waking up, to kind of help you get to that next level. And then I think secondly, right behind that is just, replacing what is left from both sides of the ball, not so much offense, but players. We've had some, offensive players that hop in the portal or whatnot, and I think to have a strong team, you definitely need, your ones and twos to sharpen each other's, irons. So I think those are kind of hand in hand what are the big issues.
I agree. I'll throw on the offensive line as well. We'll have to talk about more of that on the third segment. So like I said, we'll throw it to break already here. When you come back, you will have the Auburn Tigers in Texas, Longhorns, some college hoops, but the shows will go on here through the streams. Be sure to tune in. Talk to you in a little bit.
Bringing the action to Omaha with Omaha's first serve on January 24th at 7 p.m. Central Time at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Witness history in the making as Love Omaha Volleyball takes on Love Madison in the team's inaugural home match. Be there to watch Olympic teammates Jordan Larson and Lauren Carlini go head-to-head in a battle of the world's best. Visit lovboma.com for tickets starting at $31. Volleyball is the next major league. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
New year, new you? Barrel's Extreme Body Shaping can help make sure you keep that resolution this time. Our proven system combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition, along with our expert coaching to make sure you're moving forward toward your goals. The next 10-week challenge starts January 11th, but if you enroll now, you can start today and get a head start on those gains for no extra cost. Plus, head to fxblincoln.com and you can save $100. Don't wait. Barrel's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
Shavers is that man. He could go down as one of the best in football at Nebraska. Good as a linebacker. Kids got good instincts. Yeah, got great closing speed. What more can you ask for? You want him to learn as he go, but at the same time, he got to be a student of the game. This offseason is going to be big for him.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds. On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes, feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. The freedom of gliding with ease and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, it's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
Having diabetes doesn't have to ruin your new year. Join a Nebraska-supported program like Living Well with Diabetes. You'll learn how to manage your symptoms, feel more confident, and reduce stress about your diagnosis. Search Nebraska Living Well with Diabetes and click on the DHHS Healthy Living Programs page to learn more. Paid for by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
The Adam Carricker Show.
That is what the 12-team playoff does. It makes the end of the regular season more exciting until we realize, hey, the teams that are 10 through 12 are just going to get killed. So getting in doesn't really matter. All that doesn't matter is Oregon-Ohio State regular season. Matchup doesn't matter. Ohio State-Michigan, that rivalry's now been devalued. And to me, that's what I see.
Live every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 12 to 1 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Long segment on this one as we wrapped up short with the other one. We are now got college hoops on, Auburn versus Texas on the brick and mortar. But like I said, you guys, if you're listening to the show, you either found the streams already or the Ticket app. We got the former Husker DeMornay Pierson-El, and we're going to continue this thought on Husker football. Quick update on the Husker hoops. Hawkeyes able to put together a good run before we get to the half, but the Huskers still lead at 34-31 entering the half. And be sure to stick around. Like I said, me and Austin will have the postgame show as well. All right. I said on the other side, I think the biggest thing that the Husker football needs to fix is definitely that offensive line. I just think you're losing Bryce Benhart, using Ben Scott. Gunnar Katula played well. Mazuka's gone. I guess I'm just a little unsure of what the development looks like underneath. That's the only issue that really makes me nervous, just because, I mean, how many starts did Bryce Benhart have? 50 plus?
Mm-hmm.
Scott, the same thing, 50 plus. Like, we're dealing with guys that had
53 or something like that.
Yeah, they've been on that line forever and really became the leaders. And then if anybody's played offensive line, you kind of know there's always that guy, whether it's the tackle, the guard, hopefully it's your center. If it's not your center, you got some problems. That can pretty much explain everybody where they need to go.
Mm-hmm.
And they even know what the quarterback's usually looking at. I mean, that's kind of level of, and when you lose leadership like that, that scares me a little bit. Where are you at on the offensive line? Because I will say Raiola, the offensive line coach, has done a good job. I think even the guys that had to step in, Gunnar Katula being one of them, actually looked like the development he was under has been doing good for him.
I'm a bit nervous, but the thing about that was so many people in the transfer portal. Like, if
linemen are hard to find, though. I will say we'll talk about a couple that we're flirting with.
You got tape to watch. You know, if there's gonna be stuff out there that you have to pay attention to, tangible wise. Maybe necessarily experience is one thing. They'll go out there and they'll do a good job of identifying stuff. So I'm not even worried, even if you bring a few guys in that, you think that could complement, your starting line to kind of fill in holes or whatnot, you do that then. So I'm not too worried because there are a lot of, options and a lot of availability with things. So one way or another, it'll get fixed. They patched, other things. They brought in other parts. They brought in, people on defense, people on offense in certain positions and whatnot. So they're not afraid to go out there and the return that has been coming in have been solid picks. Now it might take you a little bit more time with offensive linemen, or you might have to wait to even after spring ball, which is still fine.
Yeah. And I will say too, how much does it change if you do get Elijah Pritchett, the former five-star transfer out of Alabama, who right now projected to go ahead and sign with Nebraska out of the portal?
That's a good start.
That's a damn good start.
It's a good start, but I mean,
played every game for Alabama as well. I should throw that in there just because sometimes you get the Alabama guys. It's like fifth string. There's still a great recruit.
He was playing.
Didn't play. This guy he started 10, played all 12. So he's got a lot of experience.
I've seen him.
Good.
I've seen somebody from Ohio State potentially or something like that. So, I mean, again, quality from other programs that, are putting people in the right places. Leaving, Alabama with, again, high-profile quarterback. Leaving Ohio State, again, with a high-profile quarterback, which the microscope is going to be on. So us having, a talented quarterback where everybody's going to be watching and seeing and whatnot, that the tape is going to be on you. That says a lot to, some of these guys that might not be getting a chance at these other places. And they feel like that, they're going to bet on themselves and, go to somewhere where they can, make an impact. So I think that plays in our favor.
Absolutely. And real quick, get this one out from the text line, kind of going back an earlier conversation, talking about the whole just NIL, about players going, leaving, and coaches. We did have this unknown texter chime in here saying, I'm not disagreeing, but what if your coach leaves and you want to follow? Again, we kind of talked about
that'll be the only coach leaves or coach fires. If you want to go, cool, fine and dandy. No, you can't restrain that.
Yep. And this is why I really want to read this text, because I know we got to that, but this was the follow-up, and this is cool. He said, also been a fan of Don't Punt _15 since I believe his first interview on the ticket when he was in high school. And was still a Nebraska commit. Always been well-spoken. Is that true? Did you have an interview with the ticket when you were in high school?
Mm-hmm.
Who was that with?
I can't even remember.
Man,
but it was one of the first ones where I called in, if I'm not mistaken.
That's incredible. And flash forward, who would have thought? Now you're doing a show.
Full circle, baby.
Yeah, that's incredible. Shout out to the unknown texter for calling that one out. Again, this seems to happen every show. Not where I thought we were going to go with it. What was that like? Because you're, DMV kid, getting the first wave of just Nebraska media. We're also kind of in that era where media wasn't everything yet. Not like
it was starting to get there, but I didn't care about media. I wanted to play ball. That's all it was. That's what it was about. I wanted to get away from home and play football. That was it.
In Nebraska? Was it Bo Pelini? What was it?
I think just the opportunity to get out there and to have a chance to compete. They didn't promise anything, but they was like, you got two people here, and neither one of them really do necessarily kind of what you do, so we'll give you a shot. Okay, that's all I need.
You didn't need any damn promises either. That's for sure. Worked out all right for you. All right, I wasn't gonna let you get away with it though. How about those Raiders? Raider Nation. Don't know if you're fired.
I don't understand. I do not understand at all.
I think the Patriots are still more egregious because that was just one full season. Piercy got what? How many games did he coach?
But even last year he had the team humming still with no quarterback. I don't think they didn't finish terrible last year, and you beat the Chiefs with Mahomes playing. It's not like he wasn't playing.
Yeah, that was a great defensive game too, if I remember correctly, for the Raiders.
You had a rough year. You had some star players get hurt, and yet you still was competitive. You had the right guy. You just missing a lot of pieces. That's not his fault.
It's one of those where
that embodies the shield. Like that's hard to follow up. Like when you hired him, he was like, you were like, yeah, like that's the Raiders. That people were saying, that's the Raider mentality that I really remember. That kind of was a refresh to bring back, and now you're gonna go with something else off of because it like you knew you brought in a GM that was good at finding talent. That's why the guy from the Chargers is there, because he built the Chargers to have a lot of talent. So with that and a person that's a player that can bring the best out of the players, that they've all said it and everybody wanted it, and they understand what the situation was this year. You just throw all that out because of what? Because of what?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like the players still rally behind him. That's always a little bit nerve-wracking when you get rid of that guy, because now you don't know where the players are at and what they feel about, your franchise and how much they really want to be there. We saw that Adams, he dipped. Adams can't blame him either. He knew this team wasn't in a winning position at all. Pierce knew it. I think everybody's just trying to get to the offseason to patch it up, but I don't know. It's like you tell someone to build a house and you give them a broken hammer and rusty nails. It's probably not going to end up being a house by the time it's done because you didn't give them the right supplies. It's kind of Antonio Pierce. Like, I don't know what they expected. That team wasn't going anywhere. So
you were competitive enough. You have the tangibles to be. Now you just needed to add certain things in there to complement you. Your division is hard already. You got 3 people in your division in the playoffs. Like that's not an easy thing to do. And I understand you want to win and everything like that, but at some point in time, what do you value?
Did they fire the GM?
Huh?
Did they fire the GM?
No, Raiders? It was just Pierce. That's what I'm pissed about.
Oh, okay, that's even worse. I thought it was the duo package.
No, it was. I'm like, okay, y'all brought in a guy to assist and help. You can say an inexperienced guy, but yet he's good for the locker room. He's good for the organization. He represented you well. I understand the wins and the losses. That's gonna come. Give him, this year, maybe I think, this year and maybe next year of the two or whatever, it would have been, right then and there. Everybody in your division got your franchise quarterback, and you don't. You let yours go 2 years ago. And you as the owner didn't stop it. At least Kraft was shutting down anything with Tom.
Why are you guys keeping Tom? What has Tom got on the owner?
I think it's just a winning success of getting back to that and what his dad believes and everything like that, of him trying to make the vision of things and whatnot. So I think that's what that is.
Could be. Okay.
He knows what it looks like. He knows.
As well, so.
I mean, it doesn't hurt. I don't think that's necessarily Tom's decision to say, "Oh yeah, fire him." Like, I doubt that.
Well, it's just anytime I see stuff like that, it's just like I just see not everybody's on the same page.
No.
Whether it's the owner stepping on the GM's toes or the GM's toes stepping on the coach's toes, it's dysfunction. And I'm just kind of like one of those people. As soon as I see it, I'm like, if you guys can't figure it out, clear house. Unfortunately, the owner is always the guy you're stuck with. That's when you get the Panthers and the Cowboys and like those just really brutal franchises to coach under. But that's one where I'm like, if I'm the owner, I'm just going to clear house. If I can't tell which one it is.
That one really pissed me off. Like that, I didn't think that was coming. Like I had a small thought and I was like, nah, like that, no.
Well, to your point, how the division shook out too. It's not like you were in a crap division.
No.
Like that's a gauntlet. So what do you?
You can arguably say that was probably the second best division in football, or maybe the first. I mean, but you can argue, head to head. I understand, the Vikings are 13-3 or whatever, 14-3. I get that, but I mean, they're up there top two.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, there's few teams that really want coaches right now. So if you're the Raiders,
and it's like, okay, who do you go to after that?
I was going to ask you that, but as we wrap things up here, do you want Vrabel?
Vrabel's not coming there. Vrabel, if he does, great, but still, like you,
Tom Brady. Okay,
how many times do we have to see that trying to recreate this Patriot way is not necessarily the way? You've seen it with McDaniels twice.
Yeah.
You've seen it with Patricia. Yeah, like I mean, Flores has some success, different situation and everything like that. But like it's,
Ben Johnson,
huh?
Ben Johnson, OC Lions.
Depending on who you drafting at quarterback, or if you can make moves to get a quarterback.
Yeah, they're just kind of like, to me, this is why you don't.
What offensive weapons do you have? Like you really don't have no superstars on your offensive side of the ball.
I agree. This is why I think you're a madman for firing Pierce, because what are you going to go off of to grade this next coach?
He was making it work even with what he had, and people were still out there going out there playing, balls to the wall. Like that's what you want. They weren't going out there just losing just for the heck of it. Like, no, they were actually playing in some things, but quarterback is the most important position in football, and we don't have a guy.
And that's we've seen what it did to the Huskers at the college football level. When you're in the NFL, you're just
people get fired.
4 games, or was it 5?
Fired. Mayo got fired.
Yeah,
for the same record that Bill got fired.
That's just tough. I actually feel bad for you. I do. It's been a tough year for both of our teams. We'll see what happens next year as we're going through some offseason. We both got to get a new head coach. That's going to wrap it up for us, though. Appreciate it as always. We'll do it again tomorrow. This has been the Don't Punt Hour.